Okay, so what are we saying? We're saying that is it because people in Cameroon are dumb? Is it because they can't figure out that books should be kept dry? And the answer is no. There's a lot of evidence, in fact, that the people of Cameroon are quite intelligent. What's the problem here? The problem is about incentives. See, the money came from an outside donor. The only thing the principal, who was the number one decision maker here, the principal of the university, the only thing that person wanted was the prestige of having a library. So there was no accountability about how the money was spent. Nobody cared about what actually happened to the money. The money was just donated from some person, probably in the United States, and then it was just spent however the principal wanted. There was no accountability there, no follow up. Another example is the dams illustration. They talked about dams in Nepal. What is this point here? Well, what happened in this illustration was that a big outside donor came into Nepal and they said, we're going to solve a water problem by creating dams. Now, Nepal already had, and if you go back to this picture, this picture over here, these are the kind of the old school system of watering the different parts of the crops. I'm sorry, I can't talk. The crops. And so they say, okay, we're going to do these new fancy dams that we're going to have more water. It's going to be great. Okay. But there was no incentive. So the money was not raised by the people there in Nepal. It came from outside. And there was no incentive for anyone there to actually take care of these new fancy dams and the new streams that were created, like these new waterways. And so the system broke down. And here's the quote: the traditional bargain breaks down. Upstream farmers no longer help clear the canals in exchange for help on the dam from downstream farmers. The upstream farmers don't need help, so the downstream farmers no longer have anything to offer on their side of the deal. So what's the point? The point is there was no incentive. There was no reason for them to care for this new fancy dam, and so it broke down. So here we come to the crux. This is the part that I want all of y'all to pay attention to. This is key. Why aren't we all drug dealers? Now you're like, wait a minute. What, Miss Berg? What are you talking about? Listen, why is it that you are not right now behaving illegally? Why? Why are you trying to follow the rules at the school? Why are you sitting in this classroom? Is it because you are inherently like a better person than somebody in Cameroon who maybe takes bribes? Well, maybe. I mean, we could get into that. But Tim Harford is arguing that it's all about incentives, that you have in your life an incentive, a reason why you should sit in this economics class and do what Miss Berg says, right? And the incentive is eventually money. You're going to eventually make money by having a high school degree and having a college degree, hopefully. So if there's no incentive at all, in fact, if there was no hope that you could ever have a job outside of doing something illegal, like taking a bribe, would you take the bribe? Tim Harford's point is this: human beings, we act on incentives. We act to get rewards. So if the incentives in a country are set up that the only way to make money is to behave illegally, the only way to make money and to have a good life is to steal, to take bribes, to behave illegally, then you have a huge problem. The incentives are set up wrong and the economy will fail. So Harford's point, this is at the bottom of your page here. Why are poor countries poor? Harford believes that poor countries are poor because there is no incentive in that country to do things that will make the economy grow.